Last weekend's fight between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin left much to be desired, despite battling it out for 12 rounds, showcasing skills at the absolute elite level of boxing. Of course, it was a fight indeed, with Canelo taking the lead in the beginning stages of the fight, and Golovkin eventually stepping his foot in the door with a strong finish. But this fight was a little different to the one before, because Golovkin, for the first half of the fight, did not look like himself. He wasn't as aggressive, and that left many fans wondering what went wrong. Many concluded that it was because he was 40 years old. Others concluded that it was because Canelo was stronger. In my opinion, these reasons are not the reasons why we saw Golovkin so unimpressive Saturday night. In this video, I propose to you what I think went wrong: the game plan. Golovkin is a pressure power puncher. Anyone who knows a thing about boxing will tell you that. However, in the first rounds of the fight, we see Golovkin unusually stepping off and jabbing passively. This was not because Canelo forced him to do so, but this was actually the instructions and game plan of Golovkin's corner going into the fight, to jab and move. His trainer can be heard telling Golovkin to pop and move in the corner, recalling what they worked on in camp, telling us that indeed this is the game plan. Here are some transcripts of the conversation. After round 2, he's trying to set his feet down so you can go for a brawl. He doesn't like you doing all this movement because as you're moving, you're catching him. You're catching him going forward and backwards. Just keep your toes tapping and stay in that rhythm. This tells us that the game plan was to avoid a brawl because that's what Canelo wants, by moving around using his jab. After round 4, remember in training camp we started moving around using that jab? That's what you gotta start doing. You gotta start moving around, force him to follow you, and he can start running into your shots. He wants to fight short the whole time. Here we see Golovkin being instructed to force Canelo to follow him, which is done by moving back and giving up ground and to avoid a short close quarters fight. Then after round 6, it appeared that the game plan changed. Clearly this was not working and Golovkin decided to box more aggressively. Then Chris Mannix decided to interview Golovkin's coach in the middle of round 8. He asked a very good question: how do you counter the speed advantage that Canelo has out there? Golovkin's coach answered, "You gotta back him up. He's gotta keep letting his hands go. You can't wait for him. He gotta go forward. He gotta go first." Perhaps that advice was many rounds too late. Clearly the instructions and attitude had changed. The original game plan was recognized as incorrect. Golovkin went on to box well in a brawl for the final 4 rounds. It was a close 4 rounds. Both fighters were tiring, but Golovkin looked stronger and more effective. It was a great final 4 rounds and both fighters really put on a show and showed their resilience as fighters. But it was too little too late, as by this stage Canelo had already secured a victory in the eyes of many fans with a dominant, clear previous 8 rounds. Jabbing and moving against another seek-and-destroy fighter like Canelo would seem appropriate for a fighter with such refined boxing skills like Floyd Mayweather, but not for Golovkin. We all know Golovkin thrives in all-action bouts where he can show his grit and resilience, where he can show his strength and iron chin. He can't show that with a pop-and-move boxing style. I believe it was this: the game plan in the first 6 rounds to pop and move and avoid a brawl is the reason for Golovkin losing to Canelo. I'm sure many viewers are wondering why on earth would the game plan be to avoid a brawl when Golovkin is one of the best brawlers in the sport. I can't answer that. That's gotta be asked to Golovkin's camp, but I can propose some reasons why that might seem like a good idea. In their last fight, where Canelo won, it was a brawl. Canelo was stronger, faster, and threw good combinations. Perhaps Golovkin's camp thought if he boxed differently, he would surprise Canelo and outbox him. Changing your boxing style to beat a particular boxer is not unheard of in boxing, but it is very risky. Indeed, Canelo wanted a brawl, and not giving your opponent what he wants is sometimes a smart idea. But the catch-22 of that situation is that Golovkin also wants a brawl because that's what he's best at too. So by choosing to avoid a brawl, he doesn't give Canelo what he wants, sure, but Golovkin also doesn't do what he's best at, and he is worse at boxing Canelo than he is at brawling with him, so it actually favors Canelo, and that's why I think it all went wrong. I'm sure it was a calculated decision from Golovkin's camp, and one that can make a lot of sense beforehand. And of course, hindsight is 20/20. There are some days that strategy will work, and others where it won't. Unfortunately, Saturday night was one of those moments where it did not work. As a boxer, not giving your opponent what he wants is important, but playing into your strengths takes priority over that. Because if by not giving your opponent what he wants, you take away your best strength, you are at an even greater disadvantage. Golovkin definitely has a great jab, there's no doubt about that, but he's a rock'em sock'em robot who loves to stand and bang or cut you down and get to work. Golovkin is probably the best pressure fighter in the sport. Don't let this take away from the fact that while, yes, we wanted a 12-round brawl, both these fighters still showed some supreme skill and grit. Canelo threw every punch with bad intentions, as we saw him tiring out and breathing heavy towards the end. We also saw Canelo bring back his jab, which was great to see because his jab was something that was missing in his fight with Bivol. I'm sure after some rest, Canelo will aim to avenge his loss against Bivol and continue his march towards that coveted spot of being regarded as one of the absolute best boxers in the sport. Game plans in boxing are risky, and it's easy to see all of this after the fact. The fact that Golovkin was so competitive even at 40 years old shows the material of his championship heart. He will go down as one of the best middleweights in history. His story is not over yet, as he still holds world titles in the middleweight division. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you also think that was the wrong game plan? And what are your thoughts on the fight in general? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments section below.